Victoria's Department of Human Services has admitted it failed to extend a protection order for 3 vulnerable children. The children's grandmother has told the ABC she's now lost contact with the girls and fears they're at risk of sexual abuse. However, we can't name the complainant to protect the identity of her grandchildren. Josie Taylor has this exclusive report.
This grandmother has 3 young granddaughters under the age of 8.
I'm so scared of what's going to happen to them.
She's speaking out because of what she says her grandchildren have been exposed to while in the care of their mother and under the watch of the Department of Human Services.
Violence, criminal activity, drugs. The little one's already, according to professionals, being sexually abused in some way. It's hard to take when she's only 3.
Anne says her drug-affected daughter isn't capable of caring for the 3 little girls who have at times gone without food for days.
That little one had taken ecstasy tablets, and that's when DHS decided to get involved.
But she says in April the child protection system failed in its most basic of responsibilities.
I got a phone call from the unit manager saying, don't bother bringing them, we've just realised that we forgot to go to court to get an extension on the order.
Then Anne says there was a further bungle, with the department revealing to her daughter confidential complaints the grandmother had made.
They said, let's call it a clerical error. I said, let's call it negligence.
Anne hasn't seen her granddaughters in 3 months. She believes they're regularly in the care of an extended family member she claims has been accused of child sex abuse. She says DHS is aware of these allegations. The Department of Human Services says it can't comment on matters it's actively involved in. A spokesman says DHS has clear procedures in conducting police checks, but he admitted the department was at fault in not extending the protection orders. Anne says she's approached Community Services Minister Lisa Neville and former Police Minister Bob Cameron for help, but had no response. She says there just aren't enough child protection workers.
When a worker rings you up at 7 o'clock at night and says, look, I just don't have time, I've got more serious cases than this.
Last year, the Brumby government lost 28% of its child protection workers. So you can bring some more in, but when they're walking out the door in droves, you don't have a stable workforce.
Anne says the words of her granddaughter keep haunting her.
She wished she'd never been born because she was so sad.
She says DHS told her she'd need a lawyer to get custody of her granddaughters. Josie Taylor, ABC News, Melbourne.